Welcome to tonight's main event. No? That joke did not land. Noted. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 annual DoD CIO Awards ceremony. Please stand for the arrival of the official party. Remain standing for the presentation of colors. Today's official party is Mr. Dana Deasy, Department of Defense Chief Information Officer, and Honorable Karen S. Evans, Assistant Secretary, Office of Cybersecurity, Energy Security, and Emergency Response at the U.S. Department of Energy.
Early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right shoulder off. Ready, step.
Thank you for that excellent rendition of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to our honorees, leadership, families, friends, and guests. Today we will recognize numerous achievements of our winners for the DoD CIO Annual Awards as members of the DoD IT community who have made outstanding, distinguished contributions to the Department of Defense. It is my pleasure to introduce the DoD CIO, Mr. Dana Deasy.
So welcome, everybody. I'd like to specifically give a very, very warm welcome to not only all those who are here getting ready to receive an award, but even more importantly to the families and friends that have joined to help us recognize those special, special people. A few people I'd like to thank today that really have helped make this a special event. First, Ms. Evans, thank you very much for taking your time. We really feel very, very lucky to have you. We look forward to your remarks. Next, Jen Haggerty. Great job in putting this whole event together. There she is. Jen, come on, stand up. Be embarrassed for one moment. She hates when I do that. Now, someone who's not embarrassed when we call them out, Blake Moore, your master of ceremony here today. You're in for a special treat with Blake leading this. So why are we here? This is about taking a moment out of our very, very busy days to step back and to recognize the achievement of some great, great teams and individuals that really do hallmark things each and every day. Whether it's making us a more efficient organization, a more agile organization, a more secure organization, or we're better enabling the warfighter. You know, as I've always said, everything we always do at the end of the day needs to point back to the warfighter and what we're doing for the men and women who serve this great country each and every day. To that end, today we have 8 individuals and 6 teams we'll be bringing up here on stage to recognize. And when we thought about what were the categories or how was it we wanted to recognize this year, obviously we wanted to make digital modernization at the heart of our awards, but we also recognize there's other things that we do each and every day across our great organization that go beyond digital modernization. So specifically, we're going to recognize for such things as cloud, AI, command control communications, cyber, some of the great work that's happening in IT reform, as well as electronic management, information communications technology, accessibility for persons with disabilities, and finally, cyber workforce management. This will be my only time up here today, and I just want to personally say a huge congratulations. We're incredibly proud of all of you, and thank you again for the families that have come to help us celebrate this great, great day. With that, back over to you.
Great notes, boss. I didn't write that in my script here because I didn't know how they were going to turn out, but you did a great job.
Thank you.
No? Everybody? All right. Our special guest speaker today is the Honorable Karen S. Evans, Assistant Secretary, Office of Cybersecurity, Energy Security, and Emergency Response at DOE. Before being nominated by President Donald Trump to lead the DOE's cybersecurity efforts, Mrs. Evans was a National Director of the U.S. Cyber Challenge and public-private partnership designed to help address the skills in the cybersecurity field. She also served as an independent director and outside manager for publicly traded companies. Mrs. Evans was previously a top IT official of the OMB under President George W. Bush in the position that is now known as the Federal CIO, and also served as the DOE CIO. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Karen Evans.
Great. Is this on? Can you hear me? Perfect. Okay. Well, first off, congratulations to all of you who are going to be honored. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. The one thing that's not in that bio, but you all will appreciate, I did start as a GS2 in the federal service. And so I am a living example of that the system does work, that if you perform like what we're recognizing today, that and you continue to live your life for public service and do those achievements and achieve results around the mission space, whether you aspire to be in an assistant secretary or a CIO position, it does work. So the system does work and recognizes outstanding performance like we're going to do today. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. This office is a new office, and it is a long name, Cybersecurity, Energy Security, and Emergency Response. The acronym is CSER. And yes, I do get text messages with pictures of statues of CSER, especially when there are security seminars and conferences in Las Vegas. I get a lot of them. But really today I was excited to be here, and I jumped at the chance when Jen wrote to me. I'm going to also embarrass her. I've known Jen for a really long time, and she asked me to do it, and I said, of course I would do this. Because it really is about the whole of government approach and the partnership. And where we sit at DOE, we are strongly partnered with DoD. The first thing that I did when I came on board and was getting ready to get confirmed was also, like, one of the things that we did was roll out the National Cyber Strategy on the day before DoD rolled out the DoD Cyber Strategy. We are joined together through several of the different authorities that DOE has in order to enable the mission force going forward of what you guys do. So, for example, our authorities say that we have to specifically identify defense critical energy infrastructure. So based on that, that's to make sure that all your bases and everything work, right? All the way up until where you're self-sufficient for a few days up to the fence, and then when you get on the outside of that, you're back into private industry, which is what we do. And so we are the outward-facing, focused, sector-specific agency, the one that works with private industry to make sure that the power is going to continue to flow so that you can meet your mission. Based on that, I wanted to highlight a couple things that as we go forward, and if you think about, because it'd be great next year to recognize some other folks going forward working on these problem sets that we have, that it's going to take you all to make it work for the mission forces out there. So we are working really closely with U.S. Cyber Command, obviously, right, and NSA, and the whole what does it mean to defend forward, and how is DoD going to work with the private sector in order to make sure power stays up. When you read the national strategy, the three major things that are always being looked at is energy and power, right? And it's telecommunications, and then the next part is finance. So regardless of which way you look at it, you're always going to have energy and power. The biggest thing that's happening right now is because of the way that we've moved forward as a nation, we are now energy independent. So what does that mean? That means that we've now created more threat vectors across the energy space because we've changed the mix. And so the way that the generation now is occurring with oil and natural gas, it's wonderful, right? So we don't have to depend on this, but if you cruise down the highway, you can see where the pipelines are. If you cruise down the highway, you can see where the substations are. It's like they were all created in a way to make it convenient for us to make sure that it could be serviced. By doing that, we've now added in all this other complexity to it with the interdependencies and how that's going to work. So we have several pilots that we're working across the board on to be able to protect that. But what's key, again, is our relationship with the Department of Defense. And so we also then have our own intelligence component associated with this. They are our interface into the IC community. But again, we have to work with the whole group and get the information across the board, because what we're really trying to do is change the dynamic, and the only way we can change this dynamic is doing the detect and protect. So I'm going to use in this framework, because I know all of you in here are familiar with the NIST framework. As you're going forward with the cybersecurity framework. And so we're trying to change the dynamic to detect and protect. Right now, our sector is pretty good at the respond and recover, and you really see it a lot with the bucket trucks going back and forth. So what they've done in this particular area is they've mimicked that in the cyber area too, because the group really realizes that we are most vulnerable when a natural disaster is occurring. And so when that natural disaster is occurring, that's when we feel like our foreign adversaries will take advantage of us, infiltrate supply chain, do a whole bunch of things that we really don't want them to do when we're trying to reconstitute services. So that's where the whole of government approach comes. We lead this with Department of Homeland Security, but DoD is there with us at all the Government Coordinating Council meetings. DoD is our partner going forward to make these solutions work. And DoD is critical to make sure that both here as well as across the world, that we are in partnership to make sure that we can protect what our infrastructure is here. So our office really looks at ourselves as the next evolution in what critical infrastructure means and how that protection is going to work. But it's really about partnerships and how that's going to work. Your cyber strategy really talks a lot about the public-private partnership. I will tell you that I have a greater appreciation in this role. Like most of the time in Washington, D.C., we talk about public-private partnerships, right? Everybody says it. We have to do it. This sector lives it. And so that it's owned, the private industry owns 90% of the infrastructure that we rely on for power, that you rely on for power. So if the public-private partnership doesn't work here, we're not going to have power across the United States. You're not going to have power in your bases. You'll be able to do stuff for a couple days. Some of them can go a little bit longer. But we really have to have that public-private partnership, and they get it. So when you talk to different companies and you're wondering about the risk model, these guys have mutual assistance agreements in place, mutual aid in place, and it extends out to all of the energy sector as a whole. So I'm just thrilled to be here. I really am excited to help define what Defend Forward is going to be. I'm sure you're going to be at the table when we're talking about what does Defend Forward mean. I was sharing with Dana on the way over here the Army facilities folks. We met with them because he said, well, you know, like, who all do you meet with at DoD? You're huge. So we meet with a lot of people over here. But the biggest thing was, and the most practical thing is, they're talking about using smart meters. So they said, well, they have certain responsibilities, right, for energy efficiency on their base and how you're going to do a bunch of things, which is in direct opposition to what you guys are attempting to do through reducing risk on networks. So they said every time they hook up a smart meter that they think is going to actually manage the facility, the DoD networks kick them off. So that's good. That part's all working. So everyone who's managing a network, give yourselves a big round of applause, because that part's working. But now we have to deal with the part that they have to manage, that part of the energy efficiency. So we have the same thing. That's what the energy security part is within my office, is working with nuclear energy, fossil energy, renewable energy. How all can they go forward, take advantage of the innovations while we're minimizing the risk, so that we can maintain our energy independence. So again, you talked about a bunch of great accomplishments. We always look forward to seeing how DoD accomplishes migration to the cloud. You guys have your big cloud award out there, so of course DOE is looking to see how that implementation is going to go forward. We will be right there with you, like just a little bit behind, lessons learned from how you guys are doing stuff. But we need to have that same solution in place because we have to interact with you. And so that's critical to us, so that we understand what the technical platforms that you're having in place, because we have to be able to exchange and have you access our data so that we can then be able to have shared situational awareness in the energy sector. So I really appreciate being part of the award ceremony. I congratulate those award winners, and I also congratulate the family members who are here, because I know it's a great sacrifice for you to have your spouse or your family member do the contributions. I know how many long hours it is. I know I've done a lot of it, and it really does take the family support in order to achieve the accomplishments that you have today. So I'm looking forward to hearing about them. I've read about them, but I want to see the names with the faces, and then I'm hoping Dana will at least let me participate, not talk next year. I can just come back and see what the new awards are that you're going to accomplish in the next year as well. So I'm looking forward to continue partnership, and again, congratulations to all the winners.
Now we will commence the presentation of the awards. The 2019 DoD CIO Awards recognize individuals and teams within DoD for exceptional achievements in information technology, cybersecurity, cloud, C3, electronic records management, information and communications technology accessibility, and cyberspace workforce management. Honorees of each category will be announced in alphabetical order. Please come to the stage as your names or teams are announced. Individual category honorees. Colonel Kyle F. Jetty, Lead Data Scientist, Headquarters, Department of the Army G8, Program Executive Office, Enterprise Information Systems. Here we go. Get it. Get it. In recognition of your outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense through your leadership of Army Leader Dashboard data development sprints and development of a unified Army-level data structure, your vision, leadership, expertise resulted in the first ever Army-wide view of its own data in a manner conducive to executive-level decision-making with direct implications for combat readiness. At the same time, you identified considerable redundancies and efficiencies by unifying 87 disparate and disconnected data sources over 5 terabytes of data under a simple, consistent, and coherent data structure. Your leadership, dedicated service, and exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon yourself, the Office of the Deputy Chief of Staff G8, the Department of the Army, the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. Ms. Trong Nguyen, Risk Management Operations Lead, Defense Information Systems Agency. In recognition of your outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense in leading projects and initiatives to improve support to the DoD Cyber Hygiene Scorecard, your vision, leadership, and expertise resulted in dramatic improvements in compliance and reporting scores for the agency. Your determination, resilience, innovation, and information sharing ensured 95% of critical and high vulnerabilities are properly patched and configured across 25,000 assets. This translates into reduced vulnerabilities and an improved risk posture for our networks, thus reducing the DoD attack surface with respect to cybersecurity attacks. Your leadership, dedicated service, and exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon yourself, the Risk Management Executive Office, the Defense Information Systems Agency, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. That's impressive. I mean, they're all impressive. Master Sergeant Matthew Smith, Superintendent, NMCC Operations Division, Defense Information Systems Agency, Joint Staff Support Center. In recognition of your outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense leading projects and enabling C2 capabilities around the world. Your leadership, expertise, and collaboration efforts resulted in measurable improvements in systems performance, IT modernization, and cybersecurity while bolstering access to joint planning resources, reducing operating costs, and safeguarding the global command and control systems joint platform. In the face of specific and time-sensitive cyber threats, you led the collaboration to prevent 6 cyber threats, securing an outstanding rating during a Defense Information Systems Agency Red Team inspection. Your leadership, dedicated service, and exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon yourself, the United States Air Force, the Joint Staff Support Center, the Defense Information Systems Agency, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. Individual category honorable mention honorees: Senior Airman Gato E. Harvey, Radio Frequency Transmission, 460th Space Communications Squadron, Det 1, United States Air Force. Senior Airman Harvey was unable to join us for today's ceremony. Senior Airman Harvey is recognized for his outstanding contributions to the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center's Kessel Run Initiative as a lead software engineer in Washington, D.C. We thank him for his service and contributions. First Lieutenant Andrew Pope, Deputy Flight Commander, 55th Communications Squadron, United States Air Force. Woo, yeah! Ow! Okay. In recognition of your outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense through leading and executing innovative projects to reshape traditional communications technology use and cyber defense capabilities for the United States Air Force. Your leadership drove the implementation and maintenance of new virtual services and introduced new ways for customers to easily access information. Additionally, you led efforts for one of the United States Air Force's first enterprise IT as a service installation and helped to shape the structure of future cyber squadrons. During the transition, you stood up and directed efforts for 3 mission defense teams to secure RC-135 ISR missions at Offutt Air Force Base. Your efforts provided new cyber protections and enabled the secure collection of intel that is reported to the Joint Chiefs of Staff and combatant commanders. Your leadership, dedicated service, and exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon yourself, the United States Air Force, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. Team category honorees: DoD Vulnerability Disclosure Program, led by Mr. Christopher Johnson, Director, DoD Cybercrime Center, DC-3, United States Air Force. In recognition of the team's outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense in providing United States Cyber Command and Joint Force Headquarters, DoD, and the system owners with critical crowdsourced cyber vulnerabilities, risk analysis, impacts, and remediation techniques to produce world-class services that are secure and available. The team's timely delivery of an accurate, resilient, innovative, and cost-effective vulnerability management service has increased the department's ability to perform information sharing and collaboration across the world. Your efforts work directly with private white hat researchers to crowdsource 11,500 vulnerabilities on DoD information systems, has significantly improved the cybersecurity posture and defense of some of the most important assets so that the department can execute its mission of defending the United States of America. These exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon the Department of Defense Cybercrime Center, the United States Air Force, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. least I get a break because it's taking you a little bit longer to walk off stage. Marauder team, led by Miss Emily Martin, product owner, Defense Manpower Data Center. In recognition of the team's outstanding contributions to the critical Department of Defense initiative to translate and modernize the background investigation process for the Department and the federal government, the Marauder system automates and leverages federal, DoD, and commercial data sources to continuously evaluate suitability and eligibility of personnel for access to classified information, while concurrently expanding the continuous vetting program and reducing the security clearance backlog. The team's innovative use of emerging technologies and scalable systems are essential to combating and preventing insider threat vulnerabilities. These exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon the team, the Defense Manpower Data Center, the Defense Counterintelligence Security Agency, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. Program Budget Data Management Division, led by Ms. Annette Henry, Division Chief. Program Analysis and Evaluation, Deputy Chief of Staff, G8, Department of the Army. There we go. Yeah. Who was that? Was that you? That's good. It's good. It's good. I like it. We need more of that. In recognition of the team's outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense in migrating and deploying the Army C-Probe business system into a cloud environment. The system was migrated from an environment of 54 servers, multiple applications, and transaction and data warehouse archives from 1995 to a virtualized commercial cloud environment supporting leadership decision-making on the strategic allocation of resources. This is off script. Okay. The team's in-depth validation of software performance and leading-edge cybersecurity enabled the Army C-Probe unclassified and classified systems to achieve the authority to operate in commercial cloud environments. The PBDMD team's diligence, good one, team's diligence and team collaboration reflect great credit upon the Program Analysis and Evaluation Directorate, the Deputy Chief of Staff, G8, the Department of the Army, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. Project Voltron team, led by Lieutenant Colonel Ben Quimby, Cyber Portfolio Lead, Defense Innovation Unit. Yeah, it looks like it. In recognition of the team's outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense in delivering cutting-edge commercial technology to better secure our current and future software reliance systems. The team's management of prototype efforts across a dozen organizations spanning the services, combatant commands, and agencies has delivered increased capability to detect previously unknown vulnerabilities in software embedded in our nation's weapons systems, the Department of Defense Common Use IT systems, and systems and software under development. This team's efforts have bolstered the ability of the DoD to improve its cybersecurity and make more efficient use of critically short set of experts capable of finding vulnerabilities manually today. These exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon the entire team, the Defense Innovation Unit, the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. Team category honorable mention honorees. Cyber Enterprise Management Team, led by Mr. Joseph Salazar, Director, Navy Enterprise Policy and Management, N2, N6, G3, Department of Navy Deputy Chief Information Officer. And woo, yeah, ow! In recognition of the team's outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense in delivering Navy Information Technology enterprise leadership and services in governance, portfolio management, enterprise architecture, data strategy, and efficiencies. The team's accomplishments in reducing IT infrastructure for data centers, networks, and help desks, improving business, warfighting, and cyber capabilities, and streamlining governance and oversight resulted in efficiencies and significant return on investment to the Department of the Navy. The team also used innovative processes through DevSecOps by establishing standards and governance for Navy cloud initiatives. These exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon N2, N6, G3, Cyber Enterprise Management, the United States Navy, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. Thanks. How many more tongue twisters are you going to throw at me here, boss? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Did that capture in the did that, no? Okay, all right. Did it? I've always wanted to see that. Okay. Infrastructure Design Implementation and Automation Team, led by Mr. Nathan Long, Chief, Defense Information Systems Agency. In recognition of the communication line of business team's outstanding contributions to the Department of Defense by supporting the lifecycle management and capabilities evolution and modernization of the complex and extensive network supporting the computing ecosystem and 700 hosted mission partner applications. The team's innovative approach to using IT system automation and process orchestration enabled them to execute a communications technology refresh across 8 data center locations while negating downtime, improving time to delivery for hosted applications, and achieving efficiencies, resulting in savings of over 10,000 person hours and $18 million annually. The exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon the computing ecosystem, Defense Information Systems Agency, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. The Award for Excellence in Accessibility, Section 508. Mr. Kayur Patel, Computer Systems Researcher, Laboratory for Advanced Cybersecurity Research, National Security Agency. In recognition of your outstanding contributions towards excellence in information and communications technology accessibility for persons with disabilities, you have displayed commendable commitment to creating an accessible work environment by incorporating new ideas and technologies into a secure environment. Your leadership in delivering access to Department of Defense employees using current and cutting-edge concepts while successfully mitigating risks provided previously unable capabilities, including secure mobile telepresence, Braille note-taker, and secure wireless. Your efforts are helping to retain a diverse workforce. These exceptional contributions reflect great credit upon the National Security Agency, the intelligence community, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. The Award for Excellence in Electronics Records Management. Ms. Sandra McAfee Simons, Command Records Manager, NORAD, U.S. Northcom. Yeah, we have a winner. In recognition of your outstanding contributions for excellence in electronic records management through implementing culture, changing policy, and technology to ensure NORAD and U.S. Northcom capture of official records. Your efforts have resulted in the systematic transition of the command's official records from multiple various locations to a DoD 5015 compliant electronics management repository, including over 220,000 documents in the unclassified repository, more than 110,000 documents in the classified repository, including more than 33,000 emails. These efforts reflect an overall increase in the command's records management compliance from non-existent to a score of 82% compliance from the National Archives and Records Management Administration in May 2019. Your leadership, dedicated service, and exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon NORAD, U.S. Northcom, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. The Awards for Excellence in Cyberspace Workforce. Ms. Carrie Waltz, Lead, Cyber Workforce Program, Joint Staff J6. Wow. Wow. Nice. All right. In recognition of and in recognition of your outstanding contributions for excellence in cyberspace workforce management by leading national cyber workforce programs through the National Security Council Line of Effort number 8 in support of the DoD Cyber Strategy, Top 10 DoD Cyber Risks, shaping the Executive Order on America's Cybersecurity Workforce, and leading enterprise-wide cyber workforce strategies, policies, projects, and initiatives. Your vision, motivation, determination, and drive resulted in dramatic improvements in the department's ability to attract, recruit, retain, and sustain a highly capable team of cyber professionals. Your leadership, dedicated service, and exceptional accomplishments reflect great credit upon yourself, the Joint Staff, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations on your award. That was impressive. Well done. This concludes the presentation of our awards. Congratulations to all the honorees, and thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Let's give one last round of applause for all of our honorees. Oh, sorry. I will after. You're next if you want. Boss, would you like to say any closing remarks? We didn't rehearse this. I'm putting him on the spot.
As you can see, we did not practice any aspect. So I apologize in advance, but hopefully gave you a good laugh. Finally, just be aware that upstairs on the E-ring, next to my office, we have the pictures up there. So you can go up and with the family if you like. Congratulations once again. Well done, everybody.
Familiar with the Pentagon, it's in hallway near 3E1030. So you're welcome to come see everybody's pictures on the wall. With that, ladies and gentlemen, please rise as the official party exits the stage, and then please join us in congratulating the honorees in the hallway behind the auditorium with refreshments.